Welcome back to the 2025 James P. Mac McCarthy Southeast Regional Lifeguard Championships. This is Jim McCready here with Jack Driscoll, bringing you back to the event for a very exciting event. This is the mixed doubles surfboat row. This is a relatively new event, an event that the Southeast region had been pushing for close to 20 years. We're lucky to have that in our list of events at this regionals. It's also a national event now. Here in the region, here in the Southeast region, we're very proud of our surfboat rowers, and we've been able to add a number of additional rowing events. We're very proud of that. So this event is a male and a female rowing together. A lot of teams will have different strategies. They'll have the male in the bow for steering and control of the boat, or sometimes they'll have the male in the stern for the speed at which he can get to the boat, or they'll reverse that. Sometimes you'll have the female competitor will be the faster of the two runners, or the athlete that's better at steering the vessel, and they'll have the female in the bow. All kinds of different strategies here. Like I said, a relatively new event, so there really aren't any favorites or long-term champions in this event. This is kind of up in the air. You'll see a lot of mixed doubles teams that have never rowed together ever. They're basically picking up teams right now on the beach. You'll see other teams that have rowed together since last year's Nationals and have this event pretty much dialed in.
So Jim, last year's Nationals did include this event?
It was at last year's Nationals, but to be honest with you, I can't remember if it was an exhibition event or whether it was a points event.
It is for points today.
It is for points here today, and I believe it is at Nationals in Huntington Beach as well.
Okay. And when you talk about steering and placement of the gender, depending on the size of the surf, does that matter?
Like I said, it's all individual to that rowing crew, right? Some of our best water people in the region are women, and you might want to have that seasoned veteran Tiffany Lacaste in your bow to navigate your boat around the course. Or, you might have a dude that's equally adept or whatever. It depends on what you have at your avail on your beach patrol or what you've matched up with here on the beach. So there's a lot of discussions going on right now about that very subject.
That's interesting. So we're going to play a video for our sponsors right now. And we're going to get the marshaling done with these boats, make sure the teams are properly instructed, and we'll get right back with you.
And please remember to support these supporters who have supported us here at this event. Cubco Screen Printing and Embroidery. Make sure you visit the fish tank. Don't forget to buy all your lifeguard gear from Waterman Lifeguard Products. And of course, if your vessel is in distress or you want to get an insurance to make sure that you always have tow, hit up Sea Tow. Tropical Seas Land Shark Sun and Skincare to keep that skin looking young. Let's have a beer at the ocean deck later after this event, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic. If you get injured, please call Advent Health. And of course, our main hotel sponsor here, the Hard Rock in beautiful Daytona Beach. And for your lifeguard statistical needs, for turning in those end-of-year statistics with the USLA, go with Watchtower Computer Programming. So now we're here, we're lined up. We have the boats floating in the water. You'll hear the official on the beach say, float them. That means that the bow rower will be at the front of the boat, in the boat, holding the boat in place, while the stern rower lines up along the flag line. This is definitely a skill to be able to get from knee to waist high water on the side of the boat into the boat to jump in the bow to get the boat going. A lot of practice goes into this. There's a lot of injuries for people that haven't been practicing this. For the stern rower, it's all about how fast you can make it from that flag line to the boat. This is where you have your faster runners, your more agile athletes that maybe have like those cat-like reflexes that can spring into the boat grab a hold of those foot straps, spin themselves around, sit down in a quick and fast manner, and get those sticks pulling. And then of course there's the coordination that it takes on your start. When you start out these boats right from the beach, it's sometimes somewhere like between 15 and 30 short choppy strokes to get the boat up to hull speed. Once you get the boat up to hull speed, you can lengthen out those strokes and use more muscle groups. The beginning part of this race is almost all arms and lats. And then as you lengthen out your strokes, you can start using more lower back, more legs. It's almost all legs if you're using the full seat. But you'll see the strokes will get longer and slower as the boats get faster in the open parts of the race. And then every transition, let's do it again. They're going to start off with your short choppy strokes and then lengthen it out as you go. Just like in swimming, it's not the team that has the most number of strokes from start to finish. It's stroke efficiency. So you want to have those long, powerful, coordinated strokes are the teams that win these races. So like I said, you're going to have some teams in this race that rode together for 12 months. You're going to have some other teams that just met here today on the beach, gave a high five and decided they were going to do it. So we're going to see how that plays out.
Yeah, good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a while. You want to get in these boats and race? Yeah.
And they're off.
And they do. And they're off. Now, Jim, something came to me. Have you ever run across kids that were actually rowers in college?
You know, you do see some of that. In fact, the two-time national champion rower from Fort Lauderdale, Alex Bagwell, she was a collegiate rower in San Diego.
Okay, totally different.
She brings that. She's not here today, but she's always in the conversation for any time that we have women in surf boats as far as being one of the favorites to winning the event. But yeah, we do get a lot of college rowers that end up being Jersey lifeguards or Ocean City, Rehoboth, Delaware lifeguards that end up making this a career and becoming year-round rowers. So that does happen.
Right, collegiate row teams and what have you.
Right, absolutely. It's a different style of rowing than your typical sculling is, but at the same time, it's the same muscle groups, so the transition isn't that difficult.
Right. And the same understanding of coordination and momentum and getting up to speed and what have you.
Absolutely. Looks like we have a clear front runner right now. If anybody knows, is closer to the beach that can tell me who's in these boats, if you could text it to me, I'll be more than glad to let everybody know what's going on. But from where we are, it's really hard to see who's in what place. But right now we have a clear front running boat. Looks like they have a good 2 to 3 boat lengths over the field. And then we have a 3-way tie for second place, which will get very interesting as we hit this first apex buoy.
Yeah, it's going to be how close they can cut that corner without missing the buoy and cutting inside for disqualification or return around the buoy. Is this going to be a 2-lap, do you believe?
This is a 2-lap race.
Okay.
I don't see any drafting happening at this point. Let's see what we got. It looks like, I wish I could tell who that is.
But they're bunching up at the buoy. There's the little correcting going on here. There's a peek over your shoulder, because nobody has eyes in the back of their head. So somebody's got to be doing the peeking. Not sure who that would be, or
it's almost always your bow rower.
They can see over the bow.
They have a second set of eyes in the back of their head.
And then they have to say left or right rudder or what have you and coordinate. No, I didn't mean left. I mean left rudder.
Yeah.
You know, and they have to correct and not correct the wrong
bow
way.
rowers absolutely hate when the stern rower turns around to see which way the boat's going. It's kind of a gesture of disrespect.
Right.
In fact, there are jokes that we should put horse blinders on stern rowers so they can't see to the side. They should just look straight back. They're the engine or the motor of the boat, as the bow rower is the steering wheel and has a better sense of what's going on as far as the course navigation and strategy.
But conversely, the bow has to follow the stern rower cadence. Right. So they have to stay in cadence while they're taking a peek.
And a lot of people don't have a natural sense of rhythm and are terrible in the stern.
Yeah.
So you do have to have like a natural, born-in metronome that allows you to keep rowing on the same beat. Otherwise, you can make a bow rower very frustrated.
Yeah, they get frustrated out there. There's some words being uttered to each other.
We've seen fist fights in boats before over the years. But we're not going to see any of that today.
Not any of that
We have
today.
nothing but the best sportsmanship from these rowers.
Within teams and within boats that are bumping into each other. I've seen a little bit of that, accidental on-purpose collisions.
I've seen some apologies and some head gestures of I'm sorry, but I haven't seen any flared tempers so far in these boat races today.
This is relatively close still.
It looks like that first place lead has been cut into drastically. We have the second place boat making a really good challenge here for first place.
Looks like there's a couple of little bumps out there, little runners to get on.
There's a little bit of wind on it too, it looks like.
Yes. There's movement. There's abrupt movement, and then there's ebbs and flows with some of these cadences now.
We're going to see a very important transition right here. And this will all be about the bow rower spinning the boat, getting in a position to jump back in to get this boat going in the right direction. And of course, your engine jumping out of the stern, sprinting up that 50 yards to the flag line, crossing the flag line, and then heading back to the boat, and then using those cat-like reflexes to get back in the boat without injuring themselves or tipping the boat.
Clean without collision.
Look how close this is.
Yes,
We're basically
they're
neck and
up.
neck.
Clean without collision. Some of them are veering to the south.
I wouldn't even call this a full boat length lead. This is very close. It looks like Alice Henley running up. I think that's her. Yeah, there's Alice. I'm not sure who that other runner is. Alice is tireless, as we said before. And it looks like they're going to get back in the boat at the exact same time. So we're going to have an excellent race to this first apex buoy.
So it has been the women in the first and second to do the transition in and out of the boat. Third place, no.
Yeah, third place we have, that looks like Jose Bolivar.
Right, and then fourth place, yet another women. So they seem to be the more agile, lightweight, running like deer to the beach and back.
But again, it's what you have. It's what you have on your team. You know what your athletes can do. I love the strategy in this race with the two different genders and the skill sets that everybody brings to this race. There's no clear-cut strategy that works for every boat. It has to do with what kind of athletes you bring to the table. This is going to be such a good race.
This is going to be a tight one, probably the tightest one we've seen all day. And then for third and fourth too.
Water is getting much more shallow on the inside. It looks like that southern current has dissipated a little bit. We have a little bit of an onshore breeze chopping up the water a little bit, which will help our rowers race in from that final apex buoy. It turns the bow of your boat into kind of like a mini sail. Gives you like a little bit of a push on the way in.
Right.
And in this race, the flag line is not important, so you can see the rowers just blasting right through the flag line. They pretend like it isn't even there.
Yeah, they'll even whip down one of the flags. I just saw one of them go down. They don't care. And that's legal. They can go through that course line. Ideally, the perimeter buoys on the outside, the triangle orange markers, are outside that inside lane perimeter of the 10-lane individuals, but they can cut through. It's not an exact science on the row. They're rowing blind. They have to have eyes in the back of their head.
So now we have a little bit of a lead between the first two boats, pulling away maybe a boat and a half lead distance between the first two boats. And this is where that endurance comes in. This is where all that training comes in.
Right, with somebody saving, sandbagging.
All the skill in the world.
Second apex, this is the peak apex offshore. Second place has got them in their sights.
So at this point, it looks like our first place boat unless something drastic happens here, they're pulling away. They have about a 2 boat length lead at this point. And I can't tell if that's the boat with Alice Henley in it. Hey, if anybody out there knows who's in each boat, please text me and I'll be able to say that here over the airwaves. Where I am right now, it's kind of hard to see who's in each boat.
I think Alice had the white helmet on. I'm not sure, but that's...
She usually has the white unicorn helmet on.
Okay, I think that's her still holding first place. They have the advantage of seeing how far back their competitor is, whereas second place only can assume. They can only assume how close they are or how far. They just have to go. And first place has, like I said, the advantage.
Oh, there's a great shot right there. Little drone footage of some perfect oarsmanship or oarspersonship, I should say.
Isn't that fantastic?
Look at that, perfectly synchronized. These are some awesome rowers right there. You should save this video as a clinic on how to row. Perfect synchronization, using the full seat, getting all those large quad muscles involved. Okay,
a little bit of a collision course coming in the way of
I hope they can turn around and see this.
A returning boat. Nobody can see each other. We have a boat that was really off course.
Close call, but everybody's safe.
They corrected, okay. Avoiding tragedy there. So it's still a race, but like you said, first place, if they get one little runner to separate themselves on the shore break, their second place doesn't have much time to make a move at this point.
That appears to be Justin Catan in the bow of that first place boat, I think. I'm having a hard time.
Yes.
And I'm not sure who the female rower is in the stern.
Second place making a final push. They had a little bit of a run, but
it's going to come down to the run up the beach. But first place boat has quite an advantage. A little bit of a jog. That might actually be Kevin Jones. I can't tell.
He's limping. He's got a little hitch in his giddy up. And second is across the finish line now. Third and fourth place is going to be a battle. They're both on somewhat of a little run. Let's see if either one of them gets some momentum out of it.
Here for third. Very wide apart, though.
Yes.
Different strategies on how to get around the course there at the end. It's going to come down to a much longer run for that boat on the south end. Oh, this will be interesting.
Yeah, longer distance to the finish line by way of land is it's going to cost them.
And they're out. They're running. Here it goes. And the inside boat had the shorter run and the faster runner.
Yes.
Able to secure that third place spot. Fourth place jogging up, very nonchalant. And we still have 4 more boats on the course.
Fifth place had a wide separation from any of the other competitors, either ahead or behind.
A little wave here.
Yeah.
For the fifth place boat. Nice. Those are always welcome. Those little runners at the end and give you a little break.
And a stumble to get out of the boat to cross the finish line. Only one of the rowers in each craft have to get out to cross the finish line. But there's no legs left, depending on whoever the rower was. They both used up their quads in that final push. A couple more boats out on the course, and we'll be wrapping up and going straight into our recap show. So don't leave us. We ran a little over this morning. Some of the events, we tried to stay on schedule. Some of the events, when you include the age groups, tend to run a little over. But luckily we weren't delayed by weather. So we're going to be right on top of things.
So these boats that are still on the course, I'm guessing these are people that hadn't rowed together before.
Yes.
They decided that they were just going to jump in it, see if it worked between them, and they're either becoming close friends at this point or bitter enemies.
I'll never row with them again,
yeah,
we got points.
We'll see how this plays itself out as they hit the beach. But win, lose, draw, or come in last, these are relationships that'll last forever. whether, like I said, they become bitter enemies or best
Yes.
friends.
They'll
never
be
forget
funny.
this row.
It'll be funny tomorrow night. But not right now. Not right now. And I get it. I totally understand it. You and I were saying, we've both delved into the unfortunate occurrence of not having a boat properly plugged halfway onto the course. You're filling with water, and you're wondering whose fault that was.
In fact, Joe Wagenhals and myself took a dory out on our lunch break when I was working part-time in Pompano one day, and did not check to see if the plug was in the hull. We got about 1.5 miles out, and the whole deck was completely underwater. We had to be rescued by a jet ski.
Oh no!
The lifeguards in Pompano would never let us live that down.
And the plugs are taken out when they sit out in the hot sun.
Right.
They're taken out because that locked compartment you were talking about, it expands.
Absolutely. And the ASA skiffs that we see out here today, they do not have plugs per se. They have deck plates that can be unscrewed.
I see, yeah.
But the old dories, the Banks dories we talked about earlier, the West Coast boats, they still have the plugs that unscrew at the stern.
Right. So we're talking about those round vent caps that are typical in all boats.
Right.
Yeah. They're PVC fittings and they're large, but you have to open those things up in this kind of heat. These things will crack and explode, and then you got a whole another set of problems.
Repair.
Yes. Yes. And boy, they don't like that, whoever the owner of the boat is.
No.
You know, just like they didn't like coming to get you.
Fingers will be pointing at that point.
Yes, yes. And you say the ASAs, there's ASA, that's a type of boat, a manufacturer boat. And
yeah, so Bob Asa, who was a long-time Asbury Park lifeguard up in New Jersey, he moved down to Fort Pierce, Florida, maybe 30 years ago, started making his boats.
I remember.
At a warehouse in Fort Pierce. He's getting up in years. He sold his molds and his boat business to the Oar House up in New Jersey.
Okay. And
now the Oar House is making ASA racing skiffs up there.
Okay.
And the quality has not dropped off. Those are excellent boats. But you know, like I said, the prices go up every year because the prices of materials go up every year. But the craftsmanship is still at that high level. But you can expect to spend about 15 grand for a new boat.
And then a set of oars, or 2 or 3.
Oars can be $800 for a pair, and those are carbon fiber shafts. Those are wood lathe blades, pistol grips. There's all kinds of different parts that rowers like. You know, it's very individual with respect to what type of handles you like, what kind of blades you want, how long your oars are. In flat water, you may want longer oars. Some rowers will go up to 9 feet 10 inches in flat water. And then in choppy surf, most rowers will be somewhere between 9'2", 9'4", and then maybe even 9'5" or 6" if they have a lot of overlap in their grips or where their hands are. So it looks like we finished up our mixed doubles open row. We don't have an age group event in this mixed doubles row. We will be breaking for lunch at this point. We have, I believe, 1 more boat still on the course. And they are hating it. I'm looking at them right now. I just saw some blades smack against each other.
A little out of sync there.
But they're learning.
Correction.
This is like going to school right here. These are valuable lessons they're learning. This is muscle memory being created. These people either love this experience or hate it. May become lifelong rowers. It may be their last time in the boat. We don't know that.
Yeah, there's some steering confusion going on right now. But, you know, in the spirit of competition, and hey, if they're looking at just points, as tight as these results were coming across about an hour ago, every point seems to me is going to make a big difference. So they're coming into shore. They're frustrated, I'm sure, but they're happy to be back. And we'll just see their reaction. It's either going to be a high five or they walk away and ignore each other.
So a famous, I keep saying this, but I know a lot of lifeguards that have come before me that taught me a lot, and I try to pass that on. One of these lifeguard mentors was a guy named Eric Jerstead.
Oh, yes.
Who's the national trophy for the B division is named after now. The Eric Jerstead Memorial Division B trophy. Was a longtime lifeguard in Fort Lauderdale as well as Seaside Heights, New Jersey. He worked for the town of Palm Beach. He worked for Palm Beach County. And he would often say that these events are not about who wins or loses. It's about the memories that are created. His famous expression was making memories. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. I first met him in 1982 when we hosted the Nationals for the first time, and we were cowboys. We were deer in the headlights up here, but we got the bid, and I'd never seen such an animal.
Right.
Eric Jerstead, and of course the Babishaw from California. I mean, there was some big names here.
So Eric Jerstead and his partner Mark Boudreau.
Boudreau, yes.
And Mark Boudreau recently is back in ocean lifesaving. He left us for a while, for about 20 years. He was off in the Parks and Rec world. Ocean Rescue was taken over by the fire department. Now he's back as the ocean lifeguard captain in Pompano, finishing out his long, storied career. Eric Jerstead and Mark Boudreau won the national championship in 1983, and it was monumentous because it was the first time that we had an East Coast boat go out to the west coast of California
and take the
national championship. They became instant legends out there and made lifelong friends, and were able to bring all those memories back to us here on the East Coast.
Okay, that finishes up.
So now that we break for lunch here,